This morning, bushfire emergency. Towns in eastern Victoria under threat from a blaze that's still out of control. Now fears it may have been deliberately lit.
Cyclone alert. Penny is right now a Category 1 off the Queensland coast. How strong will she get and where will she hit?
New details this morning on Sydney's deadly road rage attack. A hero who tried to stop it is seriously injured in hospital, with police to recommend bravery awards.
Also, hot property, the suburbs which have defied the downturn, soaring in value. What makes them so bulletproof?
The new holiday hotspots as the Aussie dollar plunges. We have the top destinations to ensure more bang for your buck.
Plus, the Queen's video, her major moments of 2018 have just been released. But has one Duchess been favoured over another?
Also,
you're a king, Alexander. The sword chose you.
Sir Patrick Stewart's new movie. At 78, it's a role he says he deserves.
And Jane McGrath Day at the Pink Test match. Glenn McGrath will be live after setting a big challenge. We're turning pink on Weekend Sunrise this Saturday, the 5th of January for 2019.
This is Weekend Sunrise with Monique Wright and Basil Zempilas.
Good morning, welcome to Weekend Sunrise. It's Pink Saturday today, of course.
The test,
great, isn't it? Yep, Jane McGrath Day for the Aussie cricketers. Go.
Yeah, go the Aussies. More importantly, if you're heading to the ground or even not, you can donate from home. But don't have to be at the cricket. Yep. Please do your bit this morning. We'll talk a lot about it during the day.
Yep, wear your splash of pink as well.
Yeah, we've got ours.
Yep. Let's get Saturday underway with Bianca Stone and the 7am news.
Good morning. Fire crews have worked throughout the night in eastern Victoria as bushfires continue to burn out of control. The most threatening is at South Rosedale in the Gippsland region, where an emergency warning was issued last night. In Tasmania, a huge bushfire is still burning this morning around 90 kilometres northwest of Hobart. It has now been downgraded to advice level after threatening homes and forcing an emergency evacuation of residents yesterday. A house has been engulfed in flames in Adelaide overnight. Crews arrived to find the home well alight at Grange just before 2 a.m. No one was inside at the time. The elderly resident returned home to find firefighters trying to control the blaze. The home has been destroyed. It's not yet known what caused the fire. A manhunt is underway in the UK for a killer who stabbed another passenger to death on board a train bound for London. Witnesses say a fight broke out between the pair before the victim was fatally knifed in the neck just before 1 p.m. local time. It's understood the attacker got off the train at the next station and remains on the run. The relationship between the men is not yet known. The Sydney Cricket Ground will be transformed into a sea of pink today for Jane McGrath Day at the Pink Test. Seven cricket reporter Emma Davenport is at the SCG this morning. Morning, Emma. The gates have just opened there.
Good stuff, That's excellent.
How good is that? Go, Karen.
Really easy to donate as well if you're not going to the cricket. It's pinktest.com.au. Very simple. I've just looked it up. And the denominations are there. You can go bang, bang, bang. It can be done.
How much have you donated?
I'm about to. I reckon we might get a team donation in. No, it's great. And as we know, if we can raise a significant amount of money this year, tips over a really special milestone in the history of the appeal.
$2.1 million. That is a huge amount to be aiming to raise in just a couple of days. But those breast care nurses, I just cannot tell you how important they are for people that are going through breast cancer.
50 women a day. 50 women a day.
Diagnosed.
Which was an extraordinary stat.
So we're doing our bit in pink today.
We are.
Hope you can as well. After the break, Australia's batsmen under pressure to perform after our bowlers cop a spray and now claims of conflict with the captain.
Also, the summer flu, why so many people are being struck down, and who needs to get another vaccination shot.
Plus, the top holiday destinations where you can still get great value for the plunging Aussie dollar. That's coming up on Weekend Sunrise. Welcome back to Weekend Sunrise. As we start 2019, we seem to be entering a period of enormous uncertainty with world leaders using the new year to ramp up threatening rhetoric, especially in our region.
Sunrise Foreign Affairs Editor Dr. Keith Suter joins us now. Morning to you, Keith.
Morning.
OK, let's start with the US plans to conduct these missile tests. This is in the Japanese island of Okinawa, which of course has a long history of US military intervention in that area or presence in that that area. What sort of a message is Trump sending to China in all this?
So Okinawa is an island in the Japanese chain. It got 47,000 American troops. Now, Trump had given the impression that he was going to withdraw from Asian affairs. This news that they're going to conduct for the first time ever these missile drills on Okinawa is a way for the Pentagon to signal to China, ignore Trump, we're staying in this region.
Right. Just before you go, talk to us about this former US Marine who has been arrested in Moscow, Paul Whelan. This is rather confusing because he seems to have quite a lot of passports and it's a bit hard to follow.
Very hard to follow. So this is a fellow who works for an American company. He's been arrested in Moscow on spying charges. Absolutely. Just back to the Cold War, really.
Yes, indeed.
Good on you. One thing we've learned, if you've got something to do in the next 12 months, release a New Year's Day statement. I'm working on mine for next year. Thank you, Keith. Still to come on Weekend Sunrise. Cyclone Penny. We're tracking the Category 1 storm, where and when it could hit the Queensland coast.
Plus, Jay McGrath Day at the Pink Test, the huge fundraising challenge set by Glenn. So will they get there?
Let's hope so. And the suburbs, which have defied the property market slump. What makes them so bulletproof? We'll tell you on Weekend Sunrise. Good morning.
We don't have to go
Happy Saturday. The top 10 New Year's resolutions are all about self-improvement. We know all about them, don't we? But the reality is that most of us won't even make it. So why do we give up so quickly, and what can we do to stay on track? Let's ask Sunrise GP Dr. Ginny Mansberg. Ginny, good morning to you. And Happy New Year again. It is the peak time of the year, isn't it, when people are striving to be better. They want a new them. What do they need to do to stick to it, though?
Look, aim a little bit lower. I think we've got to acknowledge this is really hard. You can't just all of a sudden stop.
Let's quickly talk about the flu. Hundreds of people across Queensland who won't feel like exercising this morning. This is a really bad flu spike up there.
Yeah. Well, we had sort of a not bad spike in our normal flu season in 2018, mainly because Aussies were awesome at getting the flu vaccine. It makes a huge difference, but it has worn off often by this stage of the year.
I tell you one thing we need to do too is not sneeze into our hands, but sneeze into our elbows. The number of people I've seen just wandering around who sneeze into their hands, where does that hand go next?
Or a tissue. If you do have to sneeze into your hand, can you just do it into a tissue and chuck it out?
Or a hanky. I've normally got a hanky on me.
I'm not a big fan of
I know you're not, Ginny. Good to chat. Thank you. Great advice. Here's mine.
Coming up this morning, the bushfire emergency in Victoria. Evacuation orders were issued last night and it's still out of control this morning. We will get the very latest from the fire chief. Plus, new details about Sydney's deadly road rampage, police to recommend bravery awards. And the new rules giving pharmacists the right to sell medications without a doctor's prescription. Stay with us. That was Welcome back. Time now for a look at some headlines in the news this morning. And let's start with the rising cost of sending kids back to school. News Limited papers claim that it will cost Australian parents more than $1 billion to have their kids ready to return to school in a few weeks' time. We are joined now by social commentator Gretel Colleen and Smooth FM newsman Ron Wilson. Welcome to you both.
Morning.
Public schools in particular are supposed to be free, but really they're not. I mean, people are saying it's about $500 to send their kids back to school.
When I read this, I thought, $1 billion, I can't afford that. And then I thought, 500, I can't afford that. I don't have children attending school. So this is for everyone else. So there's one cost-saving device.
It is difficult for a lot of people, Ron, isn't it? You know, after Christmas, it's a big whack.
I read some interesting tips. Number one, write a list of exactly what you need. Don't turn up down at Kmart or Big W or wherever else and just think, we might need that, we might need that. We might get what you actually need, not what you might need. And also, go to other parents. Ask if they've got any leftovers from last year.
Now, in Queensland, there is some controversy over a plan to allow pharmacists to issue prescription medicines without a script. Gretel, a lot of people would be for this idea.
What the issue here should really be, what is best for the patient? And I think what is not good is all the mixed messages we're getting at the moment.
So I actually think the pharmacies pick up a slack in an area where doctors can be pushed, especially if you're in a regional town where you may only have one doctor servicing the whole town.
He's the man we all look to. Gretel, Rod, thank you so much. All right, back to you, Baz.
I'm going to get a Harlequin backpack. It's 8 o'clock. Here's our top stories this Saturday on Weekend Sunrise.
This is Weekend Sunrise with Monique Wright and Basil Zempilas.
Such a good day, isn't it? Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Weekend Sunrise. Jane McGrath Day at the SCG. We're heading to the cricket after Weekend Sunrise at about 9:30,
Yep.
but everybody can donate. We'd love you to do that this weekend.
Yep, wear a touch of pink and donate, please. All right, let's get the very latest news. Here's Bianca.
Thanks, Mon. Fire crews have worked throughout the night in eastern Victoria as bushfires continue to burn out of control. A Good Samaritan has undergone surgery overnight after being stabbed during a violent rampage in Sydney. Live to 7 News reporter Sarah Naven at St George Hospital. Sarah, he's now in a stable condition.
There were more bystanders who rushed to the aid of the attacker, who then died. They too could also receive bravery awards. Police have launched a critical incident investigation. The man is known to police and has previously been dealt with under the Mental Health Act. It's not known how long the victim will need to remain in hospital.
OK, Sarah, thank you. And if you or anyone you know is struggling, please call Lifeline. A teenager will face court today charged with the stabbing murder of a man at the Church of Scientology headquarters on Sydney's Lower North Shore. 7 News has been told the 16-year-old had been arguing with his mother over an intense purification process she was set to undergo. It's understood he was being escorted from the Chatswood building when he's alleged to have stabbed two men aged 24 and 30. The younger man later died in hospital. And now with sport, here's Simon Reid.
Thanks, Bianca. Australia goes into day 3 of the New Year's Test in a bit of a dire situation after India once again dominated with the bat at the SCG. After an early wake-up, Sydney FC responded with an incredible 5-2 win over a 10-man Central Coast Mariners. Brosk finished the night with a hat-trick as Sydney FC joined Perth Glory at the top of the A-League ladder.
Dry and gusty winds ahead of a trough are bringing elevated fire danger levels to New South Wales. Tropical cyclone Penny is well off the Queensland coast. So around the country, partly cloudy in Brizzy. Beautiful day in Perth, sunny and 32, and Darwin, showers and storms and 33. Mon?
Thank you very much, Baz. And still on the weather, extreme conditions continue across the country this morning. Sydney's west will nudge 40 degrees again today. A strong cool change is causing some problems for firefighters in Victoria after a day of 40-plus temperatures there. While in North Queensland, Cyclone Penny continues to threaten coastal communities. Welcome to you all. Tim, we'll start with you. Perhaps you can just tell us, bring us up to speed, what is the very latest on that bushfire emergency at Rosedale in Gippsland? OK, all right, Dean, Tim and Shane, we're very fortunate to have had your expertise with us this morning. Thank you so much. Over to you, Baz.
We sure are. Thanks, Mon. 2019 is shaping up as another buyer's year in real estate. It follows a tough 2018 for sellers, which saw plummeting property prices in many parts of our vast country. But it's not all bad news. There are suburbs and cities across Australia which bucked the downward trend. Property expert Terry Ryder from hotspotting.com.au joins us this morning. Terry, good morning once again. Take us through those areas which recorded the strongest price growth in 2018. We start with the good news. We like hearing this.
Yes, hello Basil. Yeah, Hobart has been the national leader amongst the capital cities. Double-digit price growth still happening there.
Hang in there then, Terry. You're a font of all real estate knowledge. Always great to chat. Terry Ryder, thank you. Here's Monique.
Thank you, Basil.
Thank you so much, Baz. Still ahead on Weekend Sunrise, Bravery Award recommendations after a deadly Sydney rampage. Plus, calling defeat in the war on drugs, the retired police commissioner who says it's time for a new approach, but it's not the zero tolerance many may expect.
The new holiday hotspots for a plunging Aussie dollar, destinations which still have plenty of bang for our buck.
Plus, the Queen's video highlights of Her Majesty's year, but doesn't favour one Duchess over another.
Also, the big challenge Glenn has set on this Jane McGrath Day at the SCG. Glenn joins us live.
And get your motor running. We are off to Australia's biggest car festival, the Summernats. You are watching Weekend Sunrise on this pink Saturday. We'll be back with more in just a moment. Great. is revving up this weekend for the Summernats Car Festival with over 100,000 people expected at the 4 days of high-octane action.
Oh, Revhead paradise, from competitors who can burn the most rubber during a burnout to the best-looking mullet. The wheels are well and truly in motion for Australia's biggest horsepower party. And I say Revhead paradise as a sign of affection.
Yes, I know. I can't believe that you're not here, Baz, because when I look at you, wow, Andy Lopez, one of the co-owners of the festival, you look amazing, super hot. Now listen, Andy, I find it really difficult to find the most exciting day at the festival, but yesterday was really something special. Tell us about this record that you set, or you regained.
Yeah, absolutely. So what's behind us is this thing called Skid Row, and in about 2 seconds, we're not going to be able to hear it anymore.
What sort of car is it?
Oh, it's
not a Datsun?
It's a noisy one. It might be.
What is it, Andy? What sort of car is it?
He can't hear it.
No, you're not going to be able to hear anything
that
there.
they produce.
I know. They've probably run out of places to be able to do this anymore.
You know, the other thing that's happened too is Miss Summernats, the Miss Summernats pageant, that went last year.
So this is the second year where they haven't had it in an attempt to attract more women. Do you know what tells me that you're not a rev head?
You can't.
The pocket chief. It's a dead giveaway.
You don't reckon there'll be too many of these at the Summernats?
I don't think there's going to be that many of those there.
Probably not. Bianca Stone's a rev head. Let's get the news.
I'm not sure about that, Baz. Good morning. Fire crews have worked throughout the night in eastern Victoria as bushfires continue to burn out of control. The most threatening is at South Rosedale in the Gippsland region. The cause of the Gippsland blaze is currently being treated as suspicious. This morning, a watch and act warning is in place for a large area around the fire zone, so residents still need to be prepared. A Good Samaritan who was stabbed during a violent rampage in Sydney's south has undergone emergency surgery overnight. 24-year-old Hassan Risk was stabbed in the stomach when he tried to restrain a man who had fled police in Rockdale yesterday. A man aged in his 30s has also been stabbed in Melbourne's northwest. A group of men reportedly invaded the St Albans home just after 4 o'clock this morning, where a fight broke out with the resident. There are reports he was then stabbed with a machete. The far north Queensland coast is also on alert as Cyclone Penny continues to brew off Cairns. It's currently a Category 1 system, packing wind gusts of up to 120 kilometres per hour, but it is expected to be downgraded. The Sydney Cricket Ground will be transformed into a sea of pink today for Jane McGrath Day at the Pink Test.
We're having fun, all for the McGrath Foundation.
Loving those pink pants too, Emma, thank you. And to a man who could wear pink, Simon Reid.
He's wearing pink. Isn't it lovely, that cross-cultural thing today as
Everyone
well?
looks
really
good in pink.
Superb.
Love that.
Nice job. Thanks, Bianca. Australia's bowling attack has come under fire from coach Justin Langer after failing to deliver a significant blow against India on day 2 at the SCG yesterday. India declared 7 for 622. The Hurricanes continued their perfect record at the top of the BBL ladder with a 5-wicket win over the Sydney Sixers. Tonight, the Melbourne Stars face the Sydney Thunder on the coast before the Perth Scorchers take on the Brisbane Heat, who don't have a win so far. In the NBL, the Adelaide 36ers have gone down to the New Zealand Breakers 104-96, the Kiwis snapping a 2-year losing streak. The Sydney Kings face the Illawarra Hawks today.
Thanks, Mon. Now to the response over something that's become a big problem in our community yet again, drug deaths at dance parties across the country. And more community leaders are backing calls for pill testing. New federal MP Dr Kerryn Phelps says there should be a trial. What we do know for sure, 5 people have died since September last year after taking so-called party drugs. That's 5 deaths too many. Mick Palmer joins us from the Gold Coast this morning. Mick, thank you, along with emergency medicine specialist Dr David Caldecott, who helped run a drug testing trial. Mick,
morning,
we'll
Basil.
start with you if we can. Former police chief, and your backing for illegal drug testing has shocked a lot of people. Why are you speaking out? Have we lost the war on drugs, in your opinion?
You know, you can't punish your way out of this, I guess, is the reality, Basil, and I've come to realise over a long period of time that what we do by way of policing and law enforcement in our approach to this problem is never going to work.
Do you think pill testing legitimises in the minds of young people, the use of drugs?
I think that's an excellent question, and the caveat that you put there is very important in the minds of young people. It may legitimize it in the minds of older people who don't go to music festivals, but it is absolutely not the case that young people who attend our pill testing tent, who see how much equipment we bring and the number of personnel we bring to advise them that what they're doing is dangerous. There's nothing about that is legitimizing or reassuring.
Mick, one of the questions I've got, so if a young fella comes to one of these parties and does some pill testing, it's provided there, one pill's okay, one pill's got horrible impurities, is he given the okay one back and off you go and use it, go and have a good time?
Obviously, at the moment, it's it's an arrangement that allows them to make their own decisions, but they're given, as David said, very clear advice as to the dangers of any of the drugs that they are intending to take.
Best thing we're doing is talking about it. I'm so pleased that we're talking about it on a program like this, seen by so many. Mick, David, we appreciate your time. Thanks for your expertise.
Thanks, David.
On Sunrise. Here's Mon.
What an interesting chat. Thank you, Baz. Anyone planning a trip to the United States might be thinking twice this morning with the Aussie dollar exchange rate at its lowest level in 10 years. And for some, that will mean putting off a New Year's resolution to travel more or making that dream trip. But there are some international destinations that represent outstanding value because their currencies have dropped even further. Very cool. Chris, thank you so much for telling us about it. Of course, Lonely Planet has lots of great tips for how to get good value international travel. Thank you so much, Chris. OK, here's Basil.
Good on you, Mon. Thank you. Horrendous and unfathomable is how police describe the alleged assault of 5 elderly residents by a staff member at an aged care centre in New South Wales. A 48-year-old is facing 5 counts of assault. In the same week, a new aged care watchdog started operating. Janet Anderson is the woman in charge of the Quality and Safety Commission. Janet, good morning to you. Would it be fair to say you've got a big, big job ahead of you?
Good morning, Basil. Yes, look, it is a big job, but it's an important one. Older Australians have a right to expect that the aged care they access will be safe and will be of a good quality.
All right, Janet, well, I think all Australians are very pleased that you're on the job and that you've got a team in place to be able to investigate and then act if things aren't being done properly. We thank you for your time and good luck with the job ahead.
Thank you for joining Weekend Sunrise this morning. Day 3 of the test from Sydney is coming up next.
It's going to be hot. Enjoy the cricket and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.